The 5 go like to a B, it goes to a G. So instead of going B to A, it goes G to A. If it gets it,
Hey everybody!
hi.
It's good to be here with you all. Thanks for waiting while we just figured out the last
couple
kinks here. We're trying to get our acts together. We're so happy to be here in person with Albert Lee.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thanks for coming over. This is Freebo. I'm Alice Howe. It's always hard to believe that they're out there when you're just staring at a camera, but
there are definitely
they
some
are
people
there. I know they're
let
there.
us know you're there, would you please? And when we start playing, I know we're going to have a million sound people out there, but if something sounds either ridiculously loud or ridiculously soft, let us know, and we will adjust on the fly.
We can?
We can, yeah.
Maybe.
Well, we'll see.
We've got enough cables on this floor to sink a ship.
Looks like Joe Meek's studio here.
Kind of.
Let's see if I can pull up the chat. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to start us off with a song.
Okay. Good idea.
If I can figure out what I'm doing.
That's what we do best, hopefully.
All right.
Got the chat happening, Alice?
Yeah, I'm just making sure it's happening here. I actually.
Alice has become our engineer, learning all this technical stuff. Me, I'm an old guy. These millennials seem to get it together better. We'll soon find out, huh?
I guess so.
You tune?
I'll be honest with you, I can't figure out how to see the chat. I'm not sure where it is. Every night I have the strangest dream. All these ghosts are talking to me, laid down in my bed, and I can hardly sleep. These Homeland Blues have got a hold of me. Well, I went over to my cousin's house to see if we could figure it out. He said it's plain to see you got them Homeland Blues. What hope have I got if what you're saying is true? And I got them Homeland Blues. Don't you know I got them Homeland Blues? Said I got them Homeland Blues. Pull over, I got them Homeland Blues. The sooner I book my ticket, the sooner I'll come running back to you. I asked my mother, do you know what I mean? She could hardly look up at me, had her eyes to her paper, and I knew she had them too. Had her eyes on her coffee, and I knew she had them too. Have you ever missed something that you never even had? You're down so low and you feel so bad. That's when you know you got them Homeland Blues. That's when you know that you got them Homeland Blues. And I got them Homeland Blues. Try to tell you I got them Homeland Blues. Said I got them Homeland Blues. Honey, pull over, I got them Homeland Blues. The sooner I book my ticket, the sooner I'll come running back outside and I couldn't get a cab. All distracted by the night we had, I sat down on the curb, nursing my homeland blues. I'm half out in the street and I'm nursing my homeland blues. Well, my American soul gets lonely sometimes. I take a walk and it clears my mind, and I hold you tight to shake my homeland blues. I hold on tight just to shake my homeland blues. And I got them homeland blues. Don't you know I got them homeland blues? Said I got them homeland blues. Honey, pull over, I got them homeland blues. The sooner I book my ticket, the sooner I'll come running back to you. If home is where I left it, the sooner I'll come running back to you. Thank you both. That's a song of mine called Homeland Blues. Thought we'd start off with some music because that's the one thing we know how to do. Freebo, would you ask Albert a couple questions while I figure out what I'm doing over here?
Absolutely. Albert, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. It's great to
Good
have
to
you.
get out of the house.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get in someone else's.
Oh my God, how many years have we known each other?
Oh gosh. Well, this is got to be early 70s, isn't it? Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
With through Sterling Ball, we met.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Sterling Ball, the legendary Sterling Ball, son of the legendary Ernie Ball.
That's right. Yeah.
And he put a lot of people together, and he turned us both on the Music Man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know.
The amps to begin with. It was the amplifiers.
The amps, yeah.
Tom Walker was making the amps, and Leo was making guitars.
Yeah.
And
You might want to talk right into your mic.
Yeah, I think
Freebo, I think we need to turn Albert up. We're hearing that we should turn him up on all fronts.
Hit guitar.
Guitar and
Okay,
vocal.
let's do that. All right, we can do that.
Okay.
And you can finish.
Yeah.
More
Okay.
about that.
Yeah. So. Tom Walker was making the amps in early 70s for Music Man. He designed the amps. And I think I've still got about 15 of them, different shapes and sizes, and they were just they're built like tanks. They're just amazing amps, and still use a couple of them. But, and then Sterling and Ernie bought the Music Man name and started designing guitars.
Mm-hmm.
So that's and I've been using one ever since, and actually have one with my name on it.
Well, that's pretty cool.
But I played them for quite a few years before that happened, so it wasn't I wasn't lured by having a name. It was I was playing a great guitar.
A great guitar. Well, you came from the Telecaster, right?
I did, yeah. I still love the Telly, but I just fell in love with the Silhouette to begin with. That was it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the first guitar they made.
Oh.
And I played a Silhouette for the first year or so, and then my guitar was like an afterthought. It was actually called what was it called? Yeah, well, it wasn't called an Albert Lee. It was anyway. It was they made half a dozen of them, and they didn't really catch on, and they didn't really have the production going at that time, because they were concerned about making these basses, because everybody wanted the Music Man bass.
No, they made some great basses. I mean, anybody who doesn't know about, and we won't stay on Music Man, but it's really interesting because Leo Fender, y'all if you don't know who Leo Fender is, just use your imagination. Leo Fender, he's a guy who really kind of started this whole thing. And he sold Fender to CBS, I believe it was, right?
Yeah.
And when he sold Fender, they said, well, you can't make guitars anymore. And so you can't make Fender guitars anymore. So he said, okay, I'll make my own. He started a company called Music Man, which I've been playing now since 74. This is in 88, but just wonderful instruments. And but I want to ask you this, Albert. I mean, I find it fascinating. I think a lot of people out there might, but obviously you're a Brit, and you just are so schooled on American country music. How did that filter over there? What first turned you on about this whole thing?
Well, I just loved some of the records I was listening to. I was buying a lot of country in the 50s and 60s. I was a big Buck Owens fan, George Jones. And I just loved all that stuff, you know.
Right.
But I was playing rhythm and blues as well at the time, you know. So I had a pretty mixed background. But
Who were some of your early influences that you can remember?
Oh, well, the early rockers, you know, like Cliff Gallup with Jim Vincent, James Burton, of course, with Ricky Nelson, and Scotty Moore with Elvis. There were a lot of great players.
So you were listening to the guitar playing as much as anything?
That was I couldn't wait for the solo to come up.
Yeah. Did you sit down with the guitar and learn the solos note for note?
Oh yeah, especially I think that the Cliff Gallup solos on the Jim Vincent records, those first two albums, I learned all of those solos.
I'm not familiar with him. Who is that?
Cliff Gallup.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was only around for a year or so, and then he got sick of the road and he left.
Huh.
You know, but he influenced a lot of players back then. You know, Jeff Beck is a big fan of Cliff Gallup. Yeah.
Huh. Wow.
But yeah, he was a big influence, and he was a little older than some of the rockers who were around at that time. You know, and so he had a better take on the guitar. You know, he was obviously influenced by Django and Les Paul and, you know, those country swing players, you know, so it was a good lesson learning his solos.
Did you have an acoustic guitar, or did you start on electric?
Oh no, I had an acoustic. In fact, the first 18 months of playing, I used to borrow guitars. I didn't have one of my own, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I was learning on other people's guitars. Mm-hmm. And then my folks finally realised that I was learning very quickly, and I think at Christmas of '58 they bought me a Hofner guitar, and it's called a Hofner President. It was an arch top guitar, and I think that was one of the first guitars that George Harrison had too. He played a Homeland President. Did
you know George at all?
I met him years and years later. Yeah, many years later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't really see a lot of Liverpool bands around that time. You know, they come down to London and then they'd go off to Hamburg. You know, and eventually I went off to Hamburg.
Oh, you did?
In '62, yeah.
Did you play was it the Cave that the Beatles played?
No, I played the Top 10 Club, and just around the corner was the Star Club, where another one of my heroes, Tony Sheridan, he was playing, and the Beatles used to back him, you know, and he was a good rocker.
I bet.
Know? Wow. And many years later, I ended up doing an album with him. And he's passed on now, but he was an influence on a lot of people back then. You know.
Mm-hmm. When did you start your solo career? Because I obviously want to get into a tune here, but when did you first start? Did you start doing your own stuff, or you just playing in band with other people?
No, I was a shy lead guitar player. I was standing at the back, you know, and took me. You know, in the '60s, I was working with a guy called Chris Farlow, who was a great R&B singer. You know, and so I was certainly not.
I think Jerry Donahue was mentioning him at one point.
Yeah, he's still around. Yeah, so I the last thing I wanted to do was sing.
Oh,
It was later in the '60s. I was a big Everly Brothers fan,
right.
and I was lucky enough to meet them early in the '60s, And
play
I
with
thought, if I could learn to sing, that's how I'd like to sing, And finally, I got around to doing it in the late '60s with a country band, which lasted for about 18 months, and soon realised I wasn't going to make a living playing country music in England. So, and then, with a number of bands, turning point really was a band called Head, Hands and Feet, and that we got an amazing record deal and with Capitol, and off we went to America and toured the US. This was like 1970, I think. And first place we played was the Troubadour, and boy, I love Los Angeles.
Played there many times. Yeah,
Yeah.
played there early with Bonnie Raitt in the
Sure.
in the '70s, 73, 4, 5. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was pretty exciting for us. Always wanted to go to America, but especially Los Angeles. And we played the Troubadour, and just trying to think who came. I think Neil Diamond was a friend of a friend. He came to see us, and Phil Everly came out to see us, I think, and Jim Horn, and a lot of great players. And it was a great introduction to America.
And then you wound up playing with the Everly Brothers, right?
I did,
Oh.
yeah.
How long did you play with the Everly?
We've got a comedy of errors right now.
Yes,
But luckily, you're both brilliant.
that's Albert's wife, Karen. Say hello, Karen.
Oh, that's my manager calling in.
Yeah.
Okay, Jim says Albert's too soft-spoken, or you have to turn it. It was your fault?
Oh, well, yeah, I'm not right on the mic.
Do you mind
What'd she
just...
say? Right on the mic?
Okay.
Yeah, we got these dynamic mic. We got to talk right into them. So,
Oh,
yeah.
man. This is very exciting.
Stay with us, folks. We'll get this together. Appreciate it. Well, how about this? How about you do a tune?
Okay, this is one I do with Peter Asher. We do a bit of a mixture of songs, and we get to talking about Elvis Presley and so on. So I usually do Elvis's first record. So with That's All Right Mama in the key of G. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll talk a little bit about that.
All right. Well, that's all right, Mama. That's all right with you. That's all right now, Mama. Any way you choose, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right now, Mama. Any way that you choose. Well, Mama, she done told me, Papa done told me too. Son, that gal you fool me with, she ain't not good to you. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right now, Mama. Any way that you choose. Leaving town now, baby, I'm leaving town for sure. Then you won't be bothered with me hanging around your door. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right now, Mama. Any way that you choose. that's alright, Mama. It's alright with you. That's alright now, Mama. Any way you choose, that's alright. That's alright. That's alright now, Mama. Any way that you choose. Turn around. Well, that's alright now, Mama. Any way that you choose. One more. That's alright now, Mama. Any way that you choose.
Great. Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. Hey, I just want to take a second to, again, just acknowledge you guys that are watching and thank you. I know you're watching on YouTube and Facebook. We're really glad that you're here. Thanks for sticking with us. I think we're smooth sailing now. All I have to say is thank God there's a camera that doesn't include me in it. But I just want to say, if you guys can share it, if you're watching on Facebook, if you don't mind just hitting the share button, that will hopefully help more people tune in. We'd really appreciate that. And if you're able to send us a tip or a donation for the show today, we're going to be splitting that money between us. We're grateful for your donations. This is, believe it or not, what we do for a living.
This is how we make a living, especially in these COVID times, right, Albert? I mean, Albert, when's the last
this
time
is
you?
what I'm doing this month. Yeah.
Yeah, this is it for you, right?
I know. When we asked Albert, he was like raring to go. Didn't care that we were like, "You're going to be our second guest. We're not quite sure how to make it work yet." He's like, "No problem. I got nothing else going on, right?" You had to break your guitar out of hiding.
Yeah,
Get the calluses back.
Well, yeah, actually, Albert.
I know. I'm in the same boat.
Share with me on the phone. He said,
I got lazy too.
I lost my calluses. I don't know if I can play.
I don't believe that.
Well, go look for them. They're around somewhere.
Yeah.
I just want to just dovetail for a second on that song that was Elvis Presley's first hit. It was written by a guy named Arthur Big Boy Crudup.
That's right.
And
yeah.
I had heard about, this is one of the classic rock and roll stories and music business stories. Here's a guy who actually was, he worked in the cotton fields at one point and learned to play guitar and came up with his own style of blues and wrote this song and met some music shysters who said, "Hey, we'll give you," I think it was something like $100 for the song.
Oh, no.
Right, it was something like that. And it's classic story, and of course it became a huge hit for Elvis's first hit, and there were a lot of money made, and he never made the money. When I played with Bonnie Raitt, Bonnie was really wonderful, Albert, in terms of acknowledging the people who came before her, and he'd have some of these old blues guys open for her, and one of whom was Arthur Big Boy Crudup. So I got to meet him, got to play bass with him.
I remember listening to that recording with you that you have of that show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I got to play bass with him, and during the sound check, he told me the story of what happened, of how he was convinced, and it was such a beautiful guy that he didn't seem to have any resentment. He said, "Well, that's what happens, and I'm really grateful to be here now." And it was such a wonderful moment. I feel so blessed to have had that moment with this legend. And like get classic rock and roll story.
Yeah. I hate to hear stories
I
about
know.
guys selling their songs like for nothing,
Yeah.
But
It happens,
tragic.
that's
It
life.
ain't right.
That's just showbiz.
Right.
Well, I got a song that I have not sold to anybody, and I'd like to do. And
Are people
Alice,
trying to buy it?
Well, I
Or
hope-
the
I hope
offers
so.
just
Well, if
flowing in?
they can buy the CD, that'd be great. But I'm going to give the bass to Alice because Alice and I have been doing some shows together, and I thought I'd like to have some bass on my tune. So I showed her a couple of things on the 5-string fretless bass, and she actually is doing it. She can play this better than a 4-string fretted bass. So
That's weird. I don't even know what to do with a 4-string. Where's that low note? Well, it's because it's just muscle memory. It's like I know the way there, but I don't know how to find it any other way than what you showed me.
So, Albert, we really had no rehearsal here. And I've recorded this tune twice. The first time I recorded it, you were on it. And it was a really rockin' version, but I played it for my wife at the time, and I was so thrilled about it. And I said, "Do you like it?" And she just kind of didn't say anything. I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "Well, it really rocked, but it's not funny." And I said, "Well, I mean, it's a funny tune, kind of." And I said, "What do you mean it's not funny? It's the same lyrics." She said, "No, it's too good." So I did it in a whole different way, and it had Lee Thornburg put some horns in. Anyway, this is a tune. It's one of my dog songs, and this song is called "She Loves My Dog More Than Me," in the key of, guess what? D as in dog.
Okay.
Well,
Ready?
I'm ready.
One, two, three, four. Once upon a time, everything was so fine, cozy, just my baby and me. I was so well fed, had my breakfast in bed. I was happy as a man can be. Then my buddy called up, had the cutest little pup. I couldn't help but take him in. Little did I know her affection would go to my new little four-legged friend. Now she loved my dog more than me. She loved my dog more than me. I love my dog. She loved my dog, but she loved my dog more than me. Ba 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 ba. We were lying by the fire, burning with desire, when suddenly, to my chagrin, as the fire got to stoking, came a cold nose a-poking somewhere it should not have been. I thought she'd shoo him away, but she told him to stay. It kinda took me out of the zone. Now a man's best friend gets a girl in the end, and I'm left holding the bone. 'Cause she loved my dog more than me. She loved my dog more than me. I love my dog. She loved my dog, but she loved my dog more than me. Play it for me, Albert. So I'm sitting here fuming while he's getting all the grooming. That ain't how it's supposed to be.
No way.
Well, you know I don't hate him, but I got an ultimatum. Baby, it's the dog of me. Well, I got a reply as she led me outside, and she handed me my people chow. Now I'm howling at the moon while he's up in my room, and I'm in the doghouse now. Everybody sing it with me, ready? She loved my dog more than me. She loved my dog more than me. I love my dog. She loved my dog, but she loved my dog more than me. Play it one more time, Albert. There's a moral to the story. When you fall from the glory, you gotta do it gracefully. So I'm back in the bed with the dog at the head. We're a nuclear family, and I accept my fate. You know this little debate, because it ain't no democracy. From the moment he came, it's been a doggone shame. It's been a doggone shame. Give me a third part, Albert. It's been a doggone shame. That she loved my dog more than me, everybody sing.
She loved my dog more than me.
She loved my dog more than me. I love my dog. She loved my dog, but she loved my dog. Let's do it one more time. She loved my dog more than me. She loved my dog more than me. I love my dog. She loved my dog, but she loved my dog more than me. To the 5. Yes, I love my dog. She loved my dog, but she loved my dog more than me. Ba 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 ba. A true story, folks.
That's so.
More or less. Well, kind of. Little poetic license thrown in here and there.
Hey, Freebo, I think maybe we could mention some of the folks that are supporting us in this show. I'd love to just give a shout out to Alert the Globe, which is a website that's actually broadcasting our show this evening as well, alerttheglobe.com. They put on a lot of really amazing shows, including one that Freebo and I were in last weekend, put on by the Tribe at the Coach House in San Juan Capistrano, and it was an amazing multi-camera shoot, slightly more complicated than what I have put together here today, although I am quite proud of myself. Not so much for the phone shutting down, but other than that, point taken, note taken for next time. But alerttheglobe.com, thank you guys for putting us on there today.
And also Rockseller Magazine. And we should let you know, Rockseller Magazine is a wonderful magazine that if you subscribe to it, and subscriptions are free. In fact, you can go there right now, folks, to, what's it, rocksellermagazine.com. And just subscribe, and what happens, it comes right into your email inbox every day. And it's got some wonderful stories, some musical articles and exposés, and also news of the day. But it's really cool. Like I say, it's free, and they're sponsoring us, and we're very grateful for that. So please do check that out, rocksellermagazine.com. Just, you can do it right now. Just go there and subscribe. There's, believe me, there's no catches whatsoever.
And I know it goes without saying, because many of you are watching on the Norman's Rare Guitars channel and page on Facebook, but thank you so much to Norm Harris and Jen at Norm's and everybody at the shop. You guys have been such wonderful supporters of mine and Freebo's, and we're just really happy to get to do this show, and hope you guys will join us every week. We're going to be having some really wonderful guests every Wednesday at 5 p.m. We'll be here.
Big fans of yours, Albert. Norm, and people work there.
People were very excited to see Albert Lee. They were.
Yeah, next week we'll tell you again, but next week we're going to be in Memphis. Alice and I are going on the road, and we're going to be, our special guest is going to be a guy named Doug McLeod. You familiar with Doug at all?
No.
Doug is he's a wonderful country blues guitar player, and he's just a really genuine cat. And he was out here in L.A. for a while, but he's from back there. He moved back to Memphis, so we're going to have a Memphis show, and we're also going to try and do an interview with our friend Boo Mitchell. And Boo Mitchell is the son of Willie Mitchell of Royal Studios, where Al Green did all of his recording. A lot of wonderful people there, and Peoples. So we're going to do that show from Memphis, and I think you'll really enjoy it.
Yeah, we hope you'll join us next week. And I just want to mention, We're going to be doing a little Q&A. If you guys have questions for Albert, sorry, Albert, we're putting you on the spot. If you have questions for Albert, please put them in the chat, and we're going to try to answer as many as we can towards the end of the show. So please put your questions in the chat, and Jen will pass them on to me if I don't see them.
So do you have a tune, Alice?
I think so. Is that what I do here? Am I...
Well, see, the idea of this is it's kind of like a round robin of songwriters
Right.
in the round, kind of like the Bluebird. But we get to interview our special guest, so you get to know a little bit about him and behind the music.
All right. Well, I'd like to do a song that I've decided to put on my last record. Came out last year. Freebo produced it. The album is called Visions, and this is a Sam Cooke song. It's called "Bring It On Home to Me." Maybe you've heard it before. If you ever change your mind about leaving me behind, oh, bring it to me, bring your sweet loving, bring it on home to me, yeah. I know I laughed when you left, but I only hurt myself. Oh, bring it to me, bring your sweet loving, bring it on home to me, yeah. Bring you jewelry and money too. That ain't all I'll bring to you. Oh, bring it to me, bring your sweet loving, bring it on home to me, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, lovely.
Uh-oh, apparently my mic is too loud.
Uh-oh. Well, Albert, while you have that acoustic guitar out before you go to electric, you mentioned that you play with the Everly Brothers, and I mean that must have been a thrill to like growing up with their music and then met them, and then, how did that happen? How did who asked you to say, hey, will you play with us? And how did that work out?
Well, I'd met them.
You gotta talk to the mic now.
Yeah, I met them in the early '60s, and whenever they came to England, I tried to get to see them. And when I finally got to Los Angeles in '70, I think Phil Everly came out to see us play, and and not long after that, actually, they had a big bust up in '73, Don and Phil, and that was
not their only one, right?
Hmm?
Not their only one.
Well, that was the big one. That lasted 10 years, yeah.
Oh.
So it was during that period that I got to know Don very well. We used to play out here in Calabasas once a week, you know, and it was a great jam, you know. Doug Dillard was there, and John Hartford would come out, Buddy Emmons. And
Was that Sagebrush Cantina?
No, across the road at the. It was called. It was like a old tiny little place, you know. And you're lucky to get 50 people in there, but it was a really popular hang, and because the music was great, you know, we never got paid, you know, there wasn't enough money coming through the door, if anything, you know, but it was just great, you know, just playing with Don and Buddy Emmons and all those great players that came out, you know. So, and then I got to do a few things with Don. I played on his second solo album, and then I was on the road with Joe Cocker, so I was glad to give Don a rest, you know. And and then I ended up with Clapton, and
that little
so
detail.
Eric Clapton?
that Clapton, yeah. And I was with him
I think
for
I've heard of
5
him.
years, so I'd run into Don every now and again, you know. And then to my great surprise, I got a call. This was like '83, I think, and said, "Well, it looks like the guys are going to give it another try. They hadn't really spoken much in 10 years. They wanted to give it another crack, you know. Are you available?" And I thought,
That's what happens when you start to run out of money.
well, it might have had something to do with it, yeah. So fortunately for me, they both chose me to be one of the guitar players. You know?
That must have been a thrill for you, I bet. Huh?
It was, yeah. It was a nice surprise, yeah. But you know, none of us expected it to last long. You know, knowing that they could be a bit volatile. You know,
But I mean, as a fellow musician, it's just to take everything that you've ever learned and all your E chords, your A chords, your B chords, your C chords, and learn how to do that stuff and hear these people and they become iconic to you, and then you meet them and all of a sudden you're playing one of their songs. It's kind of like an out of body experience. I mean, obviously you accept it and you get used to it, but at some point it must be like, oh my God.
Well, it was, you know. I mean, it lasted for 26 years.
Wow.
To everyone's surprise. And, you know, you'd be up there and the band would be great and you think, boy, it's sounding great tonight. These two guys up front sound pretty good, you know. It's the Everly Brothers, of course, you know. Yeah. So it was a thrill. And you know, we began to take it for granted because, you know, the band was always so good. Mm. And
I feel like I've gotten spoiled by working with Freebo the last few years, where the people who played on my record and everyone that I've ever played with live, and now sitting here with you two, I only have ever played with really incredible, seasoned, experienced musicians. I feel very spoiled, very lucky to be here right now.
No, well, you've earned, you're good and just getting better, and you know you're right here and deservedly so.
Thanks,
there you
Freebo.
go. Yeah.
Albert, play us another song, would you?
All right, let me do an Everly Brothers.
Did you this one, what song is this?
This is Crying in the Rain, if I can remember it all. I'll never let you see the way my broken heart is hurting me. I've got my pride and I know how to hide all my sorrow and pain. Do my crying in the rain. If I wait for cloudy skies, you won't know the rain from the tears in my eyes. You'll never know that I still love you so, though the heartaches remain. To my crying in the rain. Raindrops falling from heaven will never wash away my misery. Since we're not together, I pray for stormy weather to hide the tears I hope you never see. Someday when my crying's done, I'm gonna wear a smile and walk in the sun. I may be a fool, but till then, darling, you'll never see me complain. To my crying in the rain, I'll do my crying in the rain. I'll do my crying in the rain.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
Beautiful.
been a while.
Now you're an Everly sister.
Yes. Well, a little more practice maybe, but yeah. I love what you said, Freebo, that I guess everybody would love to sing the third part you were saying. Like that
Yeah.
was part of their...
Well, always to do with the Everly Brothers, you
I
sit
love
there
that.
and you sing the third part.
It is
That's
so,
right,
it's, you can't help yourself.
I used to do that too. Not on stage, but
No, I guess you wouldn't dare.
I was very lucky for a few years. I got to sing with them every night
Really?
on one song. Yeah, it's a
Which
remember
song
that?
was that?
It's
Here-
an old country song, T for Texas. So Don would sing the lead, and Phil and I would do the background
The answer.
harmonies, you know. So he'd pull me up to the microphone. I thought, boy. You know, if it happened once, it'd be enough, but it was like every night, you know. He'd pull me up to the microphone, and that was pretty cool to say that I'd done that. I'd sung with the Everly Brothers more than anybody
Oh, my
else.
goodness.
But you mentioned Eric Clapton, and of course, I don't know if there's anybody out there who doesn't know who Eric Clapton is, certainly a guitar god. And I actually heard somebody say that at one point Eric said, you know, and introduced the best guitar player in the band, ladies and gentlemen, Albert Lee.
Oh my God.
Those stories get gotten a bit twisted around, but
Well, that's what I
suffice
heard.
it to say that he's been very generous with his compliments over the years.
Well,
which is
no,
great, you know.
and you guys have such different. Well, he's got so many different styles, but your style is so different from what I think of his, isn't? your
Yeah,
style.
and I thought that's what I think that was why we worked so well together. You know, I wasn't trying to play like him.
Yeah,
you know.
really.
You know.
Did he ever steal your licks?
Oh no, he's got his own.
Yeah, he got plenty of his own. That's true.
That's great.
That's true.
No, it was good. It was good fun while it lasted.
No, I mean, yeah, it's.
Albert, do you think you could move the mic just a teeny bit closer to you? I want to make sure people can hear you. I'm just going to do this. Can I just move it a teeny bit
Yeah.
forward?
Yeah.
There.
There we go. Okay.
Well, I want to do a song that you played a long time ago on my record. I did a record back in the early 2000s called Dog People, and it was it was all dog songs. I am a dog person, and anybody out there who's ever owned a dog knows how wonderful they can be and what great friends they can be, and how sad it is when they die. And this is a very famous, one of the most well-known dog songs written by a guy named Red Foley back in, I think, 1933, and covered by a lot of people, covered by Hank Snow, and Elvis did a version of this, and a bunch of folkies, and Maria Muldaur actually suggested, when I told her that I was doing some dog songs, she suggested that I check out old Shep, and I did, and so I came up with my own version, and I thought I'd do a nice acoustic version, and so I called up Albert, and we did a beautiful version. I just listened to it for the first time in a long time, and it's just the two of us on acoustic guitars and a fellow named Jim Cox on keyboards. So,
Freebo, if I may, and maybe you were already going to say this, but can we dedicate this one to Norm?
well, I was, and actually,
Norm is always asking for this song. It just
it makes him cry.
It makes him cry, which makes me cry.
Yeah, no, this is get ready, folks. This is the saddest of all dog songs, and it's actually it's very corny song in a way. I mean, it's so simple, but
it works.
It's beautiful.
It's so corny, it works.
It really does. It's just real beautiful. So, this is my version of that song, Old Shep.
When I was a lad and old Shep was a pup, over hills and meadows we'd stray, just a boy and his dog, we were both full of fun. We grew up together that way. I remember the time at the old fishing hole when I might have drowned beyond doubt. Shep was right there, to the rescue he came. He jumped in and then pulled me out. As the years fast did roll, old Shep he grew old. His eyes grew cloudy and dim. And one day the doctor looked at him and he said, "Oh, I can do no more for him." With hands that were trembling, I picked up my gun and I aimed it at Shep's faithful hand. But I just couldn't do it. I wanted to run. Oh, I wish they would shoot me instead. He came to my side and he looked up at me and he laid his old head on my knee. I stroked the best friend that a man ever had. Oh, I cried so I scarcely could see. Old Sheppy, he knew he was going to go, for he reached out and licked at my hand. He looked up at me just as much as to say, we're parting, but you understand. Old Sheppy is gone where the good doggies go, and no more with old Shep will I roam. But if dogs have a heaven, there's a one thing I know, old Shep has a wonderful home. That's for you, Nora. Beautiful, Albert.
Beautiful.
Sweet.
Hey, I have a question. Albert, would you play something on the electric? Would you play us a song? Would you?
Sure.
Do you mind? I feel like it'd be nice to hear the other guitar too. It's been sort of teasing them there in the background,
Okay.
sitting there, and
Well, yeah.
maybe I know we told you 3 songs, Albert, but maybe you could do an extra one.
Okay.
No, I mean, so many people know you for electric guitar. I think it's great that you've been playing some acoustic because they don't get to hear that
Oh, it's beautiful.
so much. And I mean, the thing that blew me away as I've gotten to know you really is your singing. That, I know you said you didn't sing back in the day. I didn't either, but when I defined myself as a bass player. But it's a funny thing when you start to sing, especially when you've played with so many other good singers. I don't know if you had the same trepidation that I did, but I really, I was like, I don't know if I should be doing this or not. Did you same way?
I didn't even try for 10 years.
Really?
Or longer than that. I mean, I started playing guitar in 57, 58, I guess, but there was always a lead singer, and I was concentrating on trying to play the licks. The last thing I could think of was trying to sing the song as well. But
Yeah, try that with bass playing and singing at the same time. It's like one of these kind of deals. It's why I don't do it very much. I'd rather play guitar and sing.
let's do this. This is called Spellbound. This is written by Paul Kennelly, a good friend of mine. Spellbound, babe, can take my eyes off you. Hypnotized
hypnotized by things you do. I'm walking on it and keep my feet on the ground. Whole world spinning upside down. Spellbound, 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 babe, you got me mesmerized. Fascinated by the look in your eyes. Got some witchcraft honey you're putting around. Call my name in such a spooky sound. Spellbound, spellbound. There's magic in your touch, something I need so much. My wishes all came true from the day that I met you. Spellbound, 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 baby, when I'm in your arms. Intoxicated by all your charms. Got a bag of tricks sure can use. Won my heart and I sure can't lose. Spellbound, spellbound. There's magic in your touch, something I need so much. My wishes all came true from the day that I met you. Spellbound, 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 spellbound. Something like that.
Close.
I love hearing you sing, Albert.
Isn't he a great singer?
He's a great singer.
Really?
Somebody just said, I don't hear any accent when you're singing.
Oh,
How come? What happens to it? Where does it go?
Oh, well,
Good question.
you know, we learn the licks from these American guitar players.
Oh, yeah.
That's our guitar player playing ended up sounding American.
And then we learned to talk from you guys, and then we changed it.
Maybe I'll play one more and then we can ask Albert some of the questions that are coming in from folks in the audience.
Sure.
How's that sound?
Okay.
Well, Freebo likes to funk up the folk. I'm going to folk up the funk here and do a little Bob Dylan. Thought it'd be fun for to have Albert play on some songs that he would know since we didn't really get to rehearse. So I love singing these songs. There's another one I put on my record. It's called Don't Think Twice, It's All Right. It ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe, if you don't know by now. It ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe. It don't matter anyhow. When your rooster crows at the break of dawn, look out your window, I'll be gone. You're the reason I'm traveling on. Don't think twice, it's alright. ain't no use in turning on your light, babe. The light that I never know. It ain't no use in turning on your light, babe. I'm on the dark side of the road. Still I wish there was something you would do or say to try and make me change my mind and stay. But we never did too much talking anyway. Don't think twice, it's alright. It ain't no use in calling out my name, boy, like you never done before. No, it ain't no use in calling out my name, boy. I can't hear you anymore. I'm thinking and a wondering all the way down the road. I once loved a man, a child I'm told. Well, I gave him my heart, but he wanted my soul. But don't think twice, it's alright. Albert, take it. So long, honey baby, where I'm bound, I can't tell. And goodbye's too good a word, so I'll just say fare thee well. And I ain't saying you treated me unkind, you could have done better, but I don't mind. Oh, you just sort of wasted my precious time. Don't think twice, it's alright. Don't think twice, it's all right.
Very.
Thank you both.
Just the way Bobby would have sung
I was
it, huh?
just gonna say I really tried to mimic Bob's inflection on that.
Really?
Yes, studied. Well, folks, we've got maybe 15 minutes left, so I think we should ask some questions from the audience, the live studio audience.
Are they asking some stuff?
Yeah,
Oh, great.
Jen is sending me some choice questions, so let's start with this. Jackie would like to know when you're coming back to Australia, but you got to talk into the mic so they can hear you.
Yeah, nothing planned at the moment,
Of
but
course. Rather, the question was, when this is all over, will you please come back to Australia?
yeah, I'm sure we will.
Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, been there a dozen times. Yeah.
Let's see. That's okay. Brent is giving you, hey, Albert, just a shout out. Last saw you at the Canyon. You did such a great set. I was additionally grateful that you came out to meet the fans. You have been an inspiration to me. Thank you for sharing your talent with us tonight.
Nice.
That's really nice.
Pleasure.
Somebody's saying an EP of the three of us would be awesome. That's really nice. Maybe we will discuss that.
Nice idea.
Let's see. Ta-da. These aren't really questions. They're more like comments and compliments. Let's see. Patrick says, hey, Albert, when I was a very enthusiastic guitar student, I saw you back in the 80s at the Purdy Kitchen in, I don't even know how to say that town name, in Dublin. Somebody's going to have to tell me how to pronounce that. I couldn't believe you were playing there right in front of me. That's so cool. Ben Newman says, Albert, can you share the story of the Duck Brothers? The Duck Brothers?
I can, yes. There was a great engineer that we used on Head, Hands and Feet records called Eddie Offord, and he became quite famous. He did the Yes albums and a bunch of others, you know. And he used to walk around with a duck call around his neck, you know, and it was a great way of adding a little, accent to whatever was going, you know, a comment, you know, without this duck call. So I took one on the road with Eric, and he loved it. So I think that day his one of the roadies went out to a music store or probably a hunting store actually, and bought a selection of duck calls and little, you know, gun holsters, you know, to hold them in, you know. So we used to drive everybody mad with these duck calls, Eric and I. And I remember we got back from a gig somewhere, maybe it was somewhere like Atlanta or whatever, and we were both pretty drunk, you know. And we went up in the lift, and there was a couple that it was their wedding day, you know. So we were serenading this married couple there in the elevator, and they didn't know who he was, you know. But anyway,
Oh my goodness.
I think that the next tour we did showed up for rehearsals, and all of the flight cases had been stenciled with the fabulous Duck Brothers, you know, and they'd like cartoons of these two ducks, you know. So that, you know, and then we had Sterling made guitar picks for us, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Bombay and Peking.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was Bombay Duck, and Eric was Peking. You know.
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
So it went on from there, and then after I left the band, he still utilised the name because his next record came out, and it was on Duck Records.
Really?
And I don't know if he still uses that logo or not. You know.
Forgive my punster, but you know who the bass player should have been.
Well, he was in the
Duck
end.
Dunn?
Duck Dunn was in the band.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh my God!
For a
Well,
while,
there you go. And maybe that's how it started with the duck calls. Who knows?
Oh no, we had the duck calls before Duck.
Oh, really?
Involved,
Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
But
Wow, that's
yeah,
too much.
they were good times.
We've got another. This is a good question. I'd like to know. Robin wants to know, Albert, how did your talent evolve from a beginner to playing with such great artists? Was it music theory, playing at home alone, repetitions, something else? What caused you to kind of feel like you had that confidence and the skills, or did you like learn as you went?
Yeah, I had no lessons at all. I had piano lessons for a couple of years, but taught myself guitar. There was no one to learn from in the late 50s. There were classical players like Julian Bream, who sadly just passed away, and some jazz players too, you know. But you couldn't learn to play rock and roll guitar like you can now.
And there was no internet, and you had to, with a record, you had to lift up the needle and play it over and
keep
over
moving
again.
the record, the needle back. How's he doing that? Maybe let's slow it down, see if I can figure it out, you know. But that's
Did you slow down the turntable to figure it out or not?
I tried that, yeah. I did try that. There was eventually there was a tape machine that you could buy, which would slow it down considerably, but it would still be in the same key. You know, I had one of those for a little while.
Wow.
But no, I was totally self-taught.
I'd like to know, because one of the things that I find fascinating about particularly your electric playing, is that, you know, of course you play often when you do stuff like what's the famous one you do that you do your
Country Boy.
Country Boy, yeah.
Yeah.
And you play so fast, but it doesn't look like you're doing anything. It looks like you're doing hardly anything. And I watch it one time and I think, oh my God, he's doing a lot of hammer-ons and hammer-offs with his left hand. It's not all the picking stuff. Where did you figure out how to do that?
I guess I'd heard banjo players, you know, Earl Scruggs. I liked the sound of the banjo, and realised there was all these kind of rolling runs, you know, and of course he was a banjo player, would pick all those notes, most of them, you know. But no, I figured out a way of doing it, you know, hammer-ons and pull-offs and slides and whatever, you know. So that way you can play it a lot faster, you know, without having your wrist going 90 miles an hour trying to play every note, you know.
So nobody taught you, just kind of figured that out from listening. So I want to play those riffs, those notes, and you kind of said, well, maybe.
Yeah. I can't remember. I guess it came. I guess in the late '60s, I actually met up with Jerry Reed in London. He came over there and he did a couple of broadcasts, and producer of the show said, "You want to play rhythm guitar with Jerry Reed?" I said, "Yeah." So I was picking his brains and watching him do all of that amazing thumb pick stuff. You know, I could never get on with a thumb pick. I figured out a way of doing it with my flat pick and fingers, you know. So,
cool.
And I didn't really see anybody doing that at the time in the 60s in England. But, you know, when I eventually got to the States, there were a lot of my favourite players were playing that way, you know, Glenn Campbell and James Burton. They were playing with a flat pick and fingers, yeah.
Is it a style? Is it called something, or
hybrid
hybrid
picking?
So your whole thing really is hybrid. That you just figured things out along the way, and it eventually became your sound.
I guess so, yeah.
It's working.
Well, I'm thinking that I might want to, if not take us out, at least next to the last song. But I've got a song called "I'll Never Be Ready to Hang Up My Rock and Roll Shoes."
Okay.
It might be kind of appropriate. And
Yeah.
you may not remember this, but you also played on this on my first record.
Oh, it is. Sounds familiar, yeah.
And I do more of a bluesy kind of version now. We're getting older, slow it down a little bit, Alice. So,
Ain't that the
Sounds
truth?
good.
but yeah, this you might have some fun figuring out where this goes. And I'll just kind
I'll
of
be
talk
right
it
behind you. A beat and a half.
Albert, tell them one more thing. Tell them what guitars you're playing tonight. What are these guitars?
Well, I'm
exactly?
playing my signature Ernie Ball Albert Lee model.
Cool.
And I've got a number of these actually, and they're great. I mean, this is, I've been playing this one for 5 or 6 years, I guess. Maybe
Well, you helped design it, right?
Hmm?
You helped design it, right?
Well, no, I didn't. No, I adopted it. It was, they made a guitar like this for the maybe the first NAMM show that they did with Music Man guitars, and this was like an afterthought, you know. And I thought, well, I like that thing. It's kind of wacky looking.
Did you make any changes at all in it? Did you say I'd like this, that?
Not
or-
really, no. Originally, they didn't have a tremolo, and for many years I played without one, and then they happened to send me a guitar to evaluate some pickups, and it happened to have a tremolo on it, and I said, yeah, well, actually I like that tremolo. Can I keep the guitar? So yeah, and eventually it came out with my name on it, and I'm really happy with it.
I love the color
And
too.
a lot of people really like it. Some people think it looks a bit weird, but I like it. It's not too weird.
Well, it's a kind of a cross between a telly and a Strat.
I feel like people are very
Yeah, well,
traditional
Strat
about
type pickups.
how they expect
it's
guitars
set up
to
very
look.
much like a Strat. 3 pickups with a 5-way switch, except it's just like volume and tone.
Uh-huh.
And
Cool.
very happy with it.
Cool. Yeah, Freebo, you should play a song, and then maybe
Do you,
Albert can
do you
take us
remember
out
any
if
of
he
the bass
wants
stuff
to.
on this song, Alice? You wanna,
Ooh, wow,
wanna
really
try
digging
it?
deep. All right, we'll
You
see.
just do the little simple pop stuff.
Make no promises.
I'll never be ready to hang up my rock and roll shoe. I'll never be ready to ever stop singing the blues. I'll be doing it by night, I'll be doing it by day, I'll be doing it blind when I'm old and gray. And I'll never be ready to hang up, never be ready to hang up, I'll never be ready to hang up my rock and roll shoes. I'll never be ready to fit into society. Well, I wish you'd build collectors could forget about bothering me. I barely make a living, no security. Yeah, but I'm about as happy as a man can be. And I'll never be ready to hang up, never be ready to hang up, I'll never be ready to hang up my rock and roll shoes. To the 4. Ah, hey kid, do you want to learn to play a guitar? You can pick a song, sing along, maybe you can be a star. Pick it for me, Albert. Bam, 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 bam. Do that again. Let them think I'm crazy, let them come and carry me away. 'Cause wherever I go, I will be sitting on the dock of the bay, with Otis beside me and Pickett behind. The Stones and Chuck Berry serenade my mind. Play some Chuck Berry in the key of E. A little more. And I'll never be ready to hang up, never be ready to hang up, never be ready to hang up my rock and roll. I'll never be ready to hang up. Never be ready to hang up. Never be ready to hang up my rock and roll shoe. Just 1 to 4. I'll never be ready. No, I'll never be ready. I'll be having 1 foot in my grave. I'll be in my grave, Albert.
Not too soon,
But
I
I'll
hope.
still be kicking. I'll be walking.
You be
I'll
talking?
be strolling. I'll be rocking. I'll be rolling, Alice. They ain't gonna put me down.
No way.
No, no way, no. I said never. No, no, never.
No way.
No, no, never. 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 And I will never be ready to hang up. Never be ready to hang up. Never be ready to hang up my rock and roll. And never be ready to hang up. Never be ready to hang up. Never be ready. I will never be ready. No, I'll never be ready to hang up my rock and roll shoe. Yeah.
Hey, well, we're over time by 5 minutes, but if Albert would want to play another song, you don't have to.
That'd be great. I'd love
I know
that.
you only prepared 3, but
Yeah, no, that's all I've got.
it's all you got. He doesn't know anymore.
That's,
That's okay.
Oh man, you got so many.
oh, I know, yeah, my fingers have been killing me, so
Right.
I don't know what.
Another
what to-
time. We'll have to have you back.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay.
I promise to practice, yeah.
Okay. You don't need to practice.
Albert's going to practice. and
Yeah,
he's gonna
okay,
come
sure.
back.
Me too. I'll practice too in that case.
I haven't practiced for years because I'm always working, you know. So,
Right?
oh,
I know.
Well, that's a good question for the last one. So, how has this been for you, this whole COVID crisis? Because we got a bunch of people out there listening who might
And
normally
speaking of the
not be
COVID
listening.
crisis, I just want to mention one
Oh,
more
yes.
time that if folks wouldn't mind making a donation, many of you already have. We're so grateful for that. We're going to split the tips that you send in between the 3 of us, and it really helps keep us going. So Jen is kindly putting the Venmo and PayPal info into the chat. So if you guys don't mind sending us $5, $10, whatever you can afford, really grateful for that.
And even though it's on Alice's account, just know that we'll make sure that she splits it
Maybe.
3 ways.
It's very conveniently going to my account. But what were you saying, Freebo? To Albert?
Well,
To
I was-
ask him
I
what
was
he's
asking-
been up to?
Well, yeah, I mean, not just what you've been up to. Obviously, not up to a whole lot, but how's it? I mean, it's affected everybody in a different psychological level. I'm wondering how you've been dealing with it on a personal level.
Yeah, I mean,
Talking to the mic now.
oh right, yeah. Well, I've been suffering with this hot weather. We got no AC at the house, you know. So the last week was just torture, you know, and just trying to get my brain working, you know. And, you know, I dream about having time off when because I'm on the road all the time, and I think all the projects that I should be doing, you know, like.
Have you been doing any of them?
No. I mean, I've got all these
Karen's
cars
shaking her head over there.
cars that are falling apart, and things that I should have tackled. And
You are a car tinkerer, right? I mean, you like
I
to
am a
work on cars.
tinkerer, yeah, and not to just taught myself really.
That's so cool.
But
I love that.
and with the help of the internet now, it's great. You can fix things yourself because there are people that have done it.
Right.
So the next question would be, what are your cars? What cars do you have that you either tinker or don't tinker with?
Well, my baby is a Ferrari I've had for 30 odd years now.
Wow.
And I really need to work on it.
Does it go, or is it just?
It's running, yeah. I did start it up a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, thank God for that. It still
Those things take a
starts.
lot of work, right? I mean, you really want to have them finely tuned.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it needs a good service, And I'm 76 now, and I really don't like getting underneath cars.
I was gonna say
anymore.
that's like right on the ground there.
Yeah, so that's hard, But I do have we do have a friend who's got a garage, so I can get cars up in the air now,
Oh,
which
cool.
it makes things a lot easier,
Cool.
But most of my work is fixing our bread and butter cars, the things we drive every day. There's always
What would those be?
a Volvo wagon and an old
What kind of Volvo wagon?
V70R.
What year?
2004.
Okay.
2004.
I have a 1989. It's back in Boston, but I have an 89 240 wagon.
Oh, well,
that
that was our first
love.
car. Well, actually, that wasn't a 240. It was a 265. Yeah.
Ah,
We're a Volvo family. We've had.
my family is too. Yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
I can hear them coming. I always know
Yeah.
what they sound like. The engine.
Yeah. We've
Very
had,
familiar.
We've had a lot of them, and we've got 2 outside the house now.
That's the whole deal. They last forever, right?
Well, they can do, yeah. Well, we had two cars that did at least 500,000 miles.
Yeah.
Each.
Wow.
You know,
Great.
that was when I used to
Wow.
be really religious about changing the oil.
Yeah.
Every
yeah.
3,000 miles.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they just keep running.
Mm-hmm. Well, you guys, I think it's about time. And we're losing the light here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, well, we're 3 hours earlier, just to let you all know that this is our second in a series, and that's the whole idea, is that we kind of do it like a writers in the round and have people play with us, and we play with them and interview. It's mostly people I know. There'll be some people that that I don't, some people Alice knows, and just to be able to know people of your caliber, Albert, who are just world-class musicians, but world-class human beings as well, and that we can relate on a personal level, and
Thank you.
and introduce them to you, Alice, and to the people out there,
It's
because
an honor.
they know your music, but they don't always know what's behind it. So
the music.
behind the music.
I think
yeah,
somebody
so
already used that
they
title.
did.
But
Well, that's why we call it Inside Live. We had to go somewhere else, but yeah, we really want to thank you for.
thanks for coming all the way
It's a
here
pleasure.
and
Thanks for dragging
spending
me out.
some time here with us. So, folks, I hope you'll join us next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. It's gonna be our Memphis Blues show. We're gonna have Doug McLeod, and we're gonna be in Memphis, live from Memphis with Doug, and hopefully a little interview with Boo Mitchell at Royal Studio. It's gonna be really cool. We hope you'll join us, and thank you to Norman's Rare Guitars. Thank you, Rock Cellar Magazine. You can subscribe for free to Rock Cellar Magazine at rockcellarmagazine.com. Amazing, really wonderful selection of in-depth articles about musicians and music and album reviews, and not to mention news and just all kinds of cool stuff. So check
Alice,
that out.
I didn't get a chance to thank Chris at Fishman. I'm using a Fishman amp right here, and I play bass out of it. The wonderful amp is called Loudbox. But have an extra one, and we have Albert playing out of it as well. And Fishman has been very kind to sponsor us with that. So
Yeah,
we're
we also
grateful
got
to that.
some really cool Audio Technica mics running right now. So thanks to Audio Technica as well.
Mhm.
And that'll do it. That's
Yeah,
Inside
yeah.
Live, folks. Let's see if I can figure out how to turn this thing off.
Say goodbye to people out there, Albert. Say goodbye,
Thank you.
Alice.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in,
Thanks
everybody.
for watching.
Appreciate it.